and he's in trouble. He's going to run. He's going to get the first down.
Don't sleep on those legs. Oh, he faked the slide. Sauce time.
The Pitt Panthers have pulled a stunning upset over the West Virginia Mountaineers.
And Johnny Majors gets a ride across the field.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Simple Fi. As always, I'm your host, Zach Kaminsky. And joining us on the pod today is a special guest. We have them, kind of their words being translated through a medium. That's right, it's Queen Elizabeth II, the late monarch of the British Empire. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to ask her thoughts on the Northwestern-Nebraska game. So, okay, can you talk to her? Are you hearing what she's saying? From hell? She said that she was a huge Nebraska fan, and she just couldn't take another one-score loss by Scott Frost. So, upon, even on top of fucking up his alma mater, he now has the weight of Queen Elizabeth's death on his shoulders.
Not a great look for Scott Frost. He killed the Queen. Trending.
Here's the thing. Now he's a national hero in Ireland.
True.
They build the statue now.
Yeah. What a headline to lead with. I heard some rumors that the Queen was a Pitt fan. Sources can't disclose them right now, but
I wouldn't want the Queen as a Pitt fan.
Just for some bulletin board material, they can win it for the Queen. But fuck her, really though.
To piggyback off the death of the Great Witch, in her 90-odd years of living, she never saw Miami win an ACC title.
That's actually an insane stat.
Yeah, she died knowing Pitt as the only ACC champion in the world.
That would be a great graphic to just pull up things the Queen has done in her life, because it was probably World War II.
I think she was alive for
World War I, probably.
No, because she wasn't 100, so she was born after.
But just a timeline of things that she's experienced. Miami ACC championship
0. I think we ought to put that out.
We'll get the graphics team on it ASAP.
Noah, this is your call. So we did promise a Week 1 recap. Unfortunately, we had our plans sort of put astray last weekend by a fleeing Kent from Pittsburgh ahead of schedule. We're calling you out on the pod. He's not here tonight either because he's on a boat, right?
Yeah,
he's part of the Vol Navy. Kent has been kidnapped by the Vol Navy.
He's sailgating a little bit early this week.
He's going up the Hines tonight. He's going up the
He's taking the Baltimore Inner Harbor all the way up to the Mon. Don't think that's even physically possible, but that's the excuse we're going to go with.
Week 1. I guess the thing is, there weren't a lot of good games for us to talk about. So, I think the 3 big ones that we kind of pulled out, because the rest of them were more or less blowouts. Want to give a shout-out to Illinois, though. They should have won. Terrible call, and they lost to Indiana.
That was shitty.
That was terrible. Let's start with the big one. Number 2, Ohio State beats number 5, Notre Dame, 21-10. This was a terrible game. Straight up.
Yeah. Notre Dame looked good in the first half. You kind of got the feeling that they knew they weren't going to win. They kind of said, we're going to try to have as much time of possession as physically possible.
They were winning the time of possession in the first half, yeah.
I know. So they were we just don't want Ohio State to have the ball, which is probably
the way to beat them.
Yeah. It's absolutely the way to beat them. But, credit where credit's due. Ohio State finally won a game where they kind of had to be physical, play good defense, and run the ball a little bit.
They won a game ugly, which is, when's the last time Ohio State has done that?
Literally, that was
before Meyer.
Yes. Yeah.
They did. C.J. Stroud looked pretty bad in the first half. Mm-hmm. Everything was off. That one throw that was behind Emeka Egbugba. I butchered that name. So sorry. He just looked off time, out of rhythm. I know that Jackson Smith and Jigba got hurt, but that D-line from Ohio State really comes on later in the game after allowing them to score. They shut them out in the second half. But their running game, really, they finally caved in and decided to run the ball. They sealed the game on like a 90-yard drive where 10 out of 14 plays are runs. So Unfortunately, Ohio State is still really good for anyone who's not a fan of Ohio State.
Yeah. I feel like you have to feel good about this game with Notre Dame, though, right?
I wouldn't feel great about the offense. I mean, it's Tyler Buckner's first start.
Yeah.
You covered the spread. Obviously, you're a team, you don't care about the spread, but you do have to feel good that you were able to hang around for a while, and you eventually just got out-talented by one of 5 schools that are just like NFL talent factories.
Yeah.
So,
They'll be in the mix. A little preview for later with the new 12-team playoff, but Notre Dame is poised for, a top 12 finish this year, probably.
no buys, though.
True.
Let's move on to the next big game, or the ranked-on-ranked game. Georgia-Oregon. Georgia beat Oregon 49-3, and they beat them so bad they fell out of the AP poll entirely.
I mean, low-key, as they should. It was bad, dude. It was bad.
So we were watching this game at the Birmingham Bridge Tavern. We were actually having a wonderful dinner.
Yes, it was incredible.
But, oh my God. The worst thing I can say about Oregon is that you made Georgia's offense look like fun. Like, they were just... I mean, Stetson Bennett was more or less dinking and dunking, and it was all yak. But, oh my God, dude. And then Bo Nix. I mean, at this point, you should not start Bo Nix. You should be starting your 5-star sophomore, I think, a redshirt freshman. There's no point in starting Bo Nix if you are not one step away from these top-tier teams. That's the only reason you go out and get a veteran quarterback, is to try and compete with the top of the college level with someone who's been around. Personally, I don't think Bo Nix is a very good veteran quarterback, but the way that they just got hammered and they couldn't do anything on offense. I mean, on defense. I mean, defense is Georgia's thing. It was under Mario. I mean, Dan Lanning is DC. If Georgia doesn't punt until like the third quarter or the fourth, that you have done something terribly wrong.
That's bad. It's crazy that the score of this game last year, wasn't it like a 10-3 game or some shit like that? Or
Did they play last year?
I thought that I'm pretty sure that they did.
I don't think so. Because they got...
Jamie?
Yeah. No, because they lost to Stanford, they lost to Utah twice, and they lost to...
I swear they opened with...
No, Oregon opened with Fresno State and almost lost last year. You're thinking of the Clemson-Georgia game to open last year.
You're absolutely right, I am.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, I am. Which goes to show, the gap between top 4 and everybody else again with Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, going into this, for me anyway, it felt like it was kind of they were going to take a little bit of a step back, and it was going to be, Alabama.
They got better.
They got better. They literally got better. Graduating all that talent, they just fucking reload. It's crazy.
They are just as good, if not better, on defense, and their offense looks like a 21st century offense. This is terrifying.
Yeah. So were we fully in then on Georgia being fucking good and Oregon being like? Is it the fact that Georgia's just that good again, or is it the fact that maybe Oregon was a little bit overhyped?
I think Oregon's a little overhyped. I mean, they'll probably win some games in the Pac-12, but I don't consider them a contender in that conference. They're going to get bullied by any team with a pulse.
Yeah.
That's a spirit-crushing game. That's going to affect the rest of their season.
Not a great weekend for the Pac-12 in general.
Oh, no. And we'll get that with our next game. Utah 26, Florida 29. I just want to open this. Florida is not the number 12 team in the nation.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous that they jumped from unranked. I don't think they got any votes at all to 12th. This is a fun game. Cam Rising has to be better. He threw this is, back and forth. Anthony Richardson won this game for Florida. There should be no questions about that. He was the one-man band. Cam Rising just got to be better. They ran the ball like they would. Cam Rising kind of stunk if he wasn't targeting his favorite tight end. And then on that last drive, they're down 3. They're on the Florida 4. I don't know why you don't run it in at that point.
It's literally your game to lose.
And he throws a pick directly to linebacker.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Really bad. Really bad. I mean, his receiver slipped on the play, but it was still like...
If he had even been up, that's still
bad throw. Bad throw either way. But yeah, not a great look for my pick to win the Pac-12.
I think that they're still good, right? Like, they're in the swamp. The SEC talent's different than Pac-12 talent. I still think they're going to go I think they'll go 11-1. I don't think anyone in the SEC is anywhere good on the line as Florida is, but playoff Utah, maybe not.
Right.
They think they had to win this game to get into the playoffs.
For sure. I think even if they go and win the Pac-12, like go undefeated, win the Pac-12 championship, they probably have an argument.
They need some outside help.
For sure.
Because if you have two SEC teams, you're not getting in.
Right. Was definitely hate watching Anthony Richardson in this game. Love him now, but I had Utah -4.
Utah money line, dude.
And he balled out, dude. So he's gonna be like my player to watch, low key dark horse. If he plays like that every game, if he continues to ball out like that, serious Heisman contender.
They'd have to win. I mean, we'll see. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility. He just has to play like that for 12 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Which is...
Have a Manziel year.
Maybe. Yeah, could be. I don't think there's really anything else... Oh, Cincinnati, Arkansas. This was a pretty good game. We were watching this at the same time. Arkansas is a really good team. Cincinnati is still pretty good. The only thing I have to say is that you can't have your quarterback dropping back 40 times a game at Cincinnati. It's not going to win you ball games.
Mm-hmm. They got behind the chains, behind the score pretty
early.
early.
There was that one, they got a turnover in like the Arkansas red zone, and they were on like the Arkansas 5, like false start, plays for loss, put them back to like the 20, and they had to kick a field goal. Kind of showed like the difference between like just the recruiting levels of these programs. But I think it's that's
kind of what I expected, right? Like it was a close game. Arkansas pulled away there, a little bit of a grinder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to the Group of 5 game of the week. Houston 37, UTSA 35 in triple overtime. That's just cool.
Yeah.
No thoughts.
Yeah. I hope that UTSA doesn't get dinged for that too much. I still think they should probably be around that outside looking in area. Like that was like Houston. Those are two good teams that they played like it.
They are probably two of the best G5 teams along with Cincinnati.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, I mean, they're both going to have a say in the Group of 5 New Year's 6. I think that UTSA probably doesn't drop another game because no one in the CUSA is as good as Houston.
Yeah.
And they gave them all they could.
Yeah.
That Clayton Tune, did he flip into the end zone for the winning play? Yeah. That was insane.
Front flips into the end zone, sick. Front flips into the end zone to win the game, even fucking sicker.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go over the rest of the ACC. We'll continue this is the Know Your Enemy segment.
Yeah.
We'll go first. Wake Forest handled business at VMI 44-10. Not much to take home here because Sam Hartman is back this week.
Yes. We'll get a first real look at him. Who do they have this week?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah. So
we'll see.
Not a true test yet, I guess, but we'll.
If it's clicking, we'll know he's good to go.
Yep.
On Friday, Virginia Tech 17, Old Dominion 20.
Yikes!
I was watching parts of this game. I wasn't really focusing on it because I had money on Illinois, Indiana, but Grant Wells sucks. He threw 4 picks against Old Dominion, and Old Dominion didn't look great in this game, but they had the blocked field goal. Like it was a comedy of errors from Virginia Tech.
They did what they had to do to win, though. This line was all over the place before the game. So
went from 8 to 6, right?
Yeah, it was all like flipping back and forth. Really didn't think that VT was that bad. I guess maybe Old Dominion is probably sneaky good.
They're sneaky good. I mean, they're a good team in the Sun Belt. I really think a lot of it is the fact that they chose Grant Wells to be their quarterback. They probably could have gotten a better transfer QB on the market this offseason, and they chose Grant Wells. And now they got to live with it.
Live with it, yep.
This is going to be a down year for them. Also on Friday, Duke 30, Temple 0. Duke isn't good. Temple's just that bad.
Yep. Moving on.
We'll get this one out of the way. We'll get the FCS games out of the way. Virginia 34, Richmond 17. Not a great look for Tony Elliott's offense against an FCS team. Miami 70, Bethune-Cookman 13. Nobody cares. It's an FCS team.
Yeah.
Start off, NC State 21, East Carolina 20. NC State only won because East Carolina missed a field goal with 9 seconds left. That would have won the game.
Extra point before that too. That the
kicker
missed.
They
that's
got
like
double kicker luck.
that's got to be like the worst thing as a kicker, right? Like to miss an extra point, and then you can go out there, you got a chance to win the game, miss it again. Like how do you not have the yips after that? How do you go out there and kick again? I don't know. That's
Alex Tessman did it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, tough look.
NC State got up to an early 21-7 lead, and then just didn't play well. I mean, I think ECU is a pretty good team. I think this is representative ECU. I think they'll be a good team in the AAC, but NC State got to iron that out before ACC play. Also, don't go on the road in your own state to a team that's going to hate you. Like VT did this, North Carolina did this, and they.
Yeah, well, the blueprint is there, and it kind of like some of them came out on top. But they all the same game.
Okay, the ACC goes 2-1. The point differential is 0.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, speaking of which, let's get to North Carolina 63, App State 61.
This game was on drugs.
This
game was on drugs.
And we didn't see a second of it because
I know.
we had no service. I was so pissed.
There was like trying to get. So we didn't have cell service for a little bit on Saturday in the morning, and we were like coming back into cell service, trying to look at the box score of this game, trying to figure out what the hell happened. And it was like trying to read code. Like, just the way that the last even like 3 minutes panned out was ridiculous.
Okay, well, here's the thing. They halftime, 28-21 North Carolina. Perfectly respectable. North Carolina scores 13 unanswered in the third. App State scored 40 in the fourth quarter. And North Carolina had to score another 22 to win.
Yeah.
So how this one ended is, I had to go watch this and go back. App State scores. App State scores, and they go for 2 to go up 57-56. They miss it. They go for an onside. North Carolina returns it for a touchdown, and then App State, with under 30 seconds left, drives down again, and then misses the 2-point to tie it. All of this game means. Like, I'm not buying into the Drake May UNC offense hype until they play a Power 5 level team. I think they're going to be good. Like, they have a ton of talent. There's no question about the UNC is one of the best recruiting teams in the ACC. But that defense is absolute dog shit. Like Ryan said on a preview, Gene Chizik is not good at his job, and it shows. He left 40 points in the fourth quarter. There's not going to be a game played against UNC where the other team is out of it.
Yeah. Bonehead move to return that onside kick for a touchdown.
Why'd you go down?
If you go down, game's over.
Yeah.
Game's over. So they have some stuff to clean up on the special team stuff too. But I'm sure you saw the clip of on the onside kick, App State's team just got demolished. Like 3 out of the 4 guys just got decleated, which is probably why he returned it for a touchdown. But it was a really funny clip. But yeah, it's just kick. Don't get cute. Just kick the PAT the first time. I don't know. That's my take on it.
You had under a minute left, and I don't know if you were going to stop them, but like, I think if you're the underdog, you always try and go for it, especially if it's a group of 5 versus P5.
That's true. I guess that's true. And they drew up the right play, too. It was there.
Yeah.
The receiver just decided to forget how to play football for a second and started backpedaling instead of running around.
The one to tie it almost worked, too. Chase Bryce was tackled by his shoestrings. Yeah. It was extremely bad luck for App State. Yeah. I also had money on this game. I felt really bad about it.
Yeah, but what an emotional game I'm sure that was for both teams going back and forth like that in the last minute.
Let's move on. Rutgers 22, Boston College 21 at Boston College.
Who cares?
Boston College sucks. I mean, listen, you let Rutgers drive 90 yards in the fourth quarter to score and to score and win the game. You suck. I have no respect for you.
So I'll always root for the ACC, especially in Big Ten matchups. But Rutgers is like the one team that I'm like okay with beating us because they're like
they're Big East. We got ties.
Yeah, well that not only that, but like you just know that they're just going to go get their shit pounded in for the rest of the year. So it's like all right, you can have this one, dude.
Yeah. Didn't they beat Syracuse last year?
They might have.
I think
they might have. Speaking
of, the most confusing result of the weekend: Syracuse 31, Louisville 7.
So Louisville fucking sucks, huh?
They couldn't stop Sean Tucker. Garrett Schrader looks good. I mean, Louisville had 4 turnovers, so that definitely contributes to the lopsided score. But Syracuse defense, little legit.
Yeah.
Louisville is got some questions. I think that maybe we were looking away from them all season, but
for an offense that we were both kind of pretty excited to watch, it was non-existent.
it was dog shit. Yeah.
So we'll have to see if that was like a first week, like
Yeah, the thing was like they
work the kinks out.
it wasn't even like a garbage time touchdown. They scored in the first and then never saw the end zone again.
Yeah, it was those. Was it their first drive? Was it that first like 15 scripted?
I think we were watching I don't know what I was watching at that point.
Yeah, but not what I expected from this game at all. From either team, really.
No.
Did not have a good read on this one. Got it in the brain now.
I've got my eye on Syracuse now.
They might make some noise. I mean,
Bowl Syracuse.
yeah, like
It's
you might just in our predictions, you might just be able to like flip Louisville and Syracuse and what to expect from them.
Yeah.
And in my mind, anyway.
Or they're like tiers. And shit,
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Sunday night. Florida State 24, LSU 23.
What a game!
That was fun, man. Having no stakes on it was really fun. 2 blocked field, or was it field goal and extra point? Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know for sure the PAT at the end of the game.
Yeah, they blocked a field goal. I think it was because it was the same play. They ran the same play. They just didn't adjust. First off, Florida State. Jordan Travis looks really good.
Yeah,
He looked really good. I was watching like their run game a lot because that's what Norvell is known for. He's got some really cool designs going. I forget who their running back is, but they had some really, really nice play design in the run game. Bonehead moved to go for a pitch on the goal line.
Yeah. So, like, credit where credit's due again for Florida State. They won the game. They did what they had to do, but they almost royally screwed that up.
Yeah. LSU, Florida State D-line, that guy Jared Verse, real deal guy. LSU D-line looked good. Everything else looked terrible. My friend David put it very perfectly that Jaden Daniels throws the prettiest incomplete balls of all time.
As long as it's spiraling, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and he didn't really even look good until that last drive. To be honest, I think just Florida State might.
I think they were just playing soft ass prevent defense.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily even something that you go in the film room and talk about. But all the hate that Brian Kelly has got this week has been hilarious. From players like deleting all the LSU stuff out of their bios. To I don't know if you saw some of the clips of the reporters.
Yeah.
When a couple games now show up on time is a crazy for a reporter to say that to a head coach. But it was literally you couldn't have written a better storyline of him going to LSU, doing the whole fake Southern thing, losing the first week, and then people hating him immediately.
Losing in that fashion too.
Yeah.
Where you have the second blocked field goal attempt on the same exact fucking play.
Yeah. He's obviously not on the hot seat, but I love that we can get that fake narrative going and speak it into existence.
LSU's going to have some worse losses than this too. Not in the way they lose, maybe, but lopsided with an SEC play. I like Mississippi State over them now, I think, definitively, if that offense can't get their shit together.
Yeah. It's hard to argue that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely hard to argue. We'll have to wait and see.
All right, Monday night game. I didn't watch a second of this, did you?
No, wasn't really worth my time. And I think based off looking the box score, it's kind of exactly what I figured. That Clemson was going to play good defense. They started slow.
My thing was I looked kind of at the box score. This was 7-3 for a very long time. Mm-hmm. The Clemson offense is broken. They have Will Shipley, and that's it. DJU has the yips or something. Something about last season broke him. The defense obviously is good.
Was it a last year thing? I feel like he never
was good.
He never
he
really
was
had
good
it.
in 2020. Remember when Lawrence went down and he beat he almost beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He was good when Lawrence went down, but he
looked bad.
He essentially has no time to throw in the pocket. I think he just has the yips. I think he's broke and he's got to go somewhere else.
How much eligibility does he have left? Realistically, where is he going to go? I heard they're hiring up in Oregon.
He's got 3 years left, dude.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Or, yeah, maybe 2. Cause it's freshman. He has 2 left because of COVID.
Hey, get him up to Oregon.
He's gonna be just as bad as Bunis there, dude.
It would be funny if that just becomes their brand, their shtick. Though they just like
bad quarterbacks,
bad transfers.
And Ty Thompson rides the bench the entire time.
But yeah, I mean Georgia Tech showed some fight, but I think that was just Clemson being not great on offense early.
Yeah,
adjusting in the end, and then
he got $11.5 million. Okay, so
DJ?
No, Dabo.
Oh,
Dabo got like a huge extension that's worth $11.5 million a year after his team. Like, it's clear that they're in decline. Like 41-10 is not a indicative final score of how crappily they played. Mm-hmm. Like, this was 14-10 for a while. It was 14-3 for a while. It was 7-3 for a while. Like, this was just the offense looks bad. I think it's what they're doing is they're always hiring from within. They're not bringing any new like blood into the program. Obviously, the defense is still good because you have talent there. But like, I don't know what happened. Like, the offensive talent, they must have just not had an eye for it at some point.
I don't know. But whoever Dabo's agent is needs a raise. Needs a raise, a little kicker.
Yeah.
Because to get him that extension now is probably the best move they could have made.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't fire him for a couple of years. He's owed like $5 million in the buyout for like 5 years or something.
Yeah, because it's definitely. I mean, who knows? They could just like go on a recruiting kick, figure it out, and their offense could look like completely different next year, and then we look dumb. But
I think they would need to hire a new staff.
Yeah.
On the offense, I think that's the thing that would really separate them.
For sure.
All right, that was the enemies. Now, like we hinted before, 12-team playoff.
Let's go, baby.
So let's run over the basics of it. It's sort of the proposal that's been floated around a lot, sort of as the most popular model.
The stuff we should have been doing for a couple years now.
Top 4 teams are your top 4 ranked conference champions. So that means that Notre Dame is not eligible for a bye. Yeah. It's pretty much like Notre Dame and Army, but it's not going to be ranked number 1. And then 5 through 12, I think it's the other conference champions. I don't know if there's a G5 secure bid. I think there is one. And the rest are at large. First round is played on campus, which is awesome.
Incredible. Those games are going to be so much fun.
I know.
So much fun.
Like, imagine, say, like a Michigan home game in mid-December. It's freezing. It's probably snowing. All the students are going insane.
Very real chance that it could be, like, you could get these matchups where it's like a Big Ten thing. Like, say, Penn State is like Michigan. Michigan loses to Ohio State. Mm-hmm. They're the 5 seed, though. They go...
and they would have Michigan go to
like a Michigan State or Penn State who was ranked.
I'm curious to see if they would do that to do the rivalry matches in the first round, or if they would try and do
like
sort of like the bowls where it's like you want to see a new team. I think they could work the rankings either way because they'll probably know they're 12 at a certain point.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
and they definitely do that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, there's a reason that Alabama, Georgia wasn't in the first round.
Exactly. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you're right, how they do that dynamic. Like, are we going to do a Rose Bowl where it's Big Ten, Pac-12? Or are we going to do, let's let the blood run and go.
That would be sick. I think that is I kind of want them to kind of do half and half. Like, if you can do a rivalry in, like, the 8-9 or the 7-10, do it. But also, if you can send Florida to Wisconsin, do it.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's something to say about doing it either way. That would be cool.
Like, say for example, Pitt gets a home game at Heinz Field, a freezing cold stadium when it gets cold out, crappy Pittsburgh weather, and you send I don't know, let's go with LSU into the Pittsburgh night.
The new Death Valley is Heinz Field. You heard it here first.
It's the Death Triangle.
Yeah. Death Triangle. Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Oh, they're actually our medium was just spoken. Queen Liz is actually lobbying before her death for a single game at Buckingham Palace, but the committee said it was a no-go, and unfortunately, college football will be kept away from the evil British Empire.
Thank God. What a game that would be.
Will they send Nebraska there again?
I think you have to.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
Should we just start sending Nebraska like on a world tour every year? They play somewhere else. Like one year they have to go to Mongolia. Next year they're in like Egypt.
Yeah. Is Nebraska really who we want growing the game?
No, but it'd be funny from our perspective.
Fair.
And then the rest of it, I think I'm not sure how they're doing the quarterfinals, but I think they're in bowl games. The semis are still New Year's Sixes, and the championship got moved back a week, I believe. But I don't think that the date's been confirmed for the championship, but everyone's expecting it to move back.
Yeah, as it probably will.
Yeah.
But also just cool for like getting. I think it'll help get more of the players to play in bowl games too. Like it'll, like they'll take some of those bowl games where, for example, Pitt, Michigan State last year, where like Kenny didn't play, Kenneth Walker didn't play.
Oh yeah, if that's a playoff game, they're definitely playing.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And also, it gives like these schools like say we had a 12-team playoff last year and Pitt was on the national stage. Granted, they would have gone to Georgia and probably gotten squished. Mm-hmm. But that national attention is great for these teams that like where the mobility is sort of stiff because you only have 4 teams on the top every year. I think it's really good for recruiting for programs like that.
Yeah, it'll hopefully like even that playing field a little bit to get to compete, quote unquote, for a national championship. Mm-hmm. Like knowing damn well that 12 seed probably isn't ever going to win it. Mm-hmm. But you get that.
They can have a first round upset. They're going to be Bama in the next round, but.
Right.
Any given Saturday.
You get to compete for a national championship, air quotes. So
yeah.
It's cool.
That sells the narrative, yep. All right, now it's time to look ahead to week 2. We're going to do a quick watch board, sort of watch list, kind of ranking the games on what we think is going to be good. We did this in week 0. We forgot to do it for week 1 because of outside influence post-brawl. But if you forgot, we have 3 tiers for games. Starting at the bottom is the Fats tier. The Fats tier is a bad game. You shouldn't watch this game, and if your TV ends up on this channel, you've done something wrong on your Saturday. The middle tier is our Bootleggers tier. It's fine, maybe everything else went bad. Bootleggers, consistent, cheap drinks. You're gonna get your money's worth there, but it's never your first stop. And then the Mario's tier, the Peters Pub Memorial tier are the games you should be watching, the bars you should be going to, and everything like that. If we were to do a game of the week, say the top of the top, what would we make that tier named?
Should we do it for G-Door in memoriam?
The G-Door Lifetime Achievement tier. Okay, all right, we got it. Let's start on Friday. Louisville UCF at 7:30. Boise State, New Mexico at 9 o'clock.
Let's find out if Louisville's really bad.
I would say that Louisville UCF is probably in your Boots tier.
Yeah.
Boise State, New Mexico is in your Fats tier.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Early slate Sunday. Let's start off. Let's start off high. Let's start with the Mario's tier. Would you put Bama Texas? Like everyone's gonna watch Bama Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. Not necessarily because I think it's going to be a good game. But
no,
it's
not
like
at all.
Those historic, like the history that both kind of like teams have, that both schools have. And it'll be a nice little preview of them moving to the SEC. Like, it'll be pre-SEC.
Oh, they're going to get their ass beat, dude.
I think so.
That line's already at 20.
Yeah.
Which I would actually consider.
I kind of like Bama minus 20.
It's scary because, like, you don't know about garbage time stuff, but they might go up at 40.
Yeah.
Other games this year, I'd say South Carolina, Arkansas. I like the first one. I don't think that it's going to be great. I think Arkansas is going to win pretty handily. I didn't like what I saw out of South Carolina last week. They didn't score a touchdown until late. It was all field goals. I just like watching KJ Jefferson play.
Yeah.
In our bootleggers tier, I'm going to put Wake Forest Vandy. Get to watch Sam Hartman play, see how he catches up, if he really lost a step from his time away from the program. I don't think it'll be close, but watching that Wake offense when it's clicking is fun. And then, I think is an interesting game is Missouri-Kansas State. I don't think Missouri fixed that run defense yet, and Deuce Vaughn is really good. And now he has Adrian Martinez as a glorified triple option quarterback, which I like. I think that's fun. Anything else in this early slot, I'm not really a fan of. This is all Fats tier stuff. Arkansas State, Ohio State, garbage. Southern Miss Miami, garbage. Minnesota versus FCS, Duke Northwestern. If you're watching Duke Northwestern,
what the fuck are you doing?
Make sure you've got all your shots up to date. You should buy a Geiger counter to see if you have radiation poisoning afterwards. Oh, we forgot. UTSA Army. Let's throw that in the bootleggers tier. That's fun.
For sure. Yeah, that'll be a fun game.
Nothing else here is really
second screen, about. Big second screen game for that one.
I mean, I ran the triple in high school, so I love watching it. Did you see the play? I don't know if you would have seen it, but Army had a play where I'll show you this afterwards, but it was an amazing play where they faked a pitch, and everyone online fakes the pitch, and then they hand it to their backside down back on a dive up the middle, and he goes just 40 yards for a score.
I love it. They've just been doing the same shit for the last 100 years. And
Army tried to go spread.
I remember that. And then they're like, yeah, no, this isn't really our brand.
We're bad at this, actually. In the afternoon slate, there's not a lot of good stuff. Obviously, Mario's tier. I'm going to put, obviously, Pitt-Tennessee.
Yep.
We'll get to previewing that game in a little bit. We're going to save that for the end of the show. Washington State, Wisconsin, maybe something's there at Washington State. Wisconsin has a good defense, though, and Braylon Allen is probably going to run for 100,000 yards on them.
Another one for the afternoon slot at 4 o'clock, Houston and Texas Tech, for me, is one to keep an eye on.
I think there's a bogus line in that game.
Texas Tech's favored, which is kind of why I have my eye on it.
I think that's just a bad G5 line.
It could be. But that'll be another one that's good to just kind of have on in the background, in my opinion.
Yeah. Moving into that boost tier, I think Virginia-Illinois is maybe a good second string game. Sort of clashing styles. Virginia's all about throwing. Illinois is all about running with Chase Brown. Sort of interesting to see how that one will play out. Everything else here is pretty bad. I will shout out one game in particular. What was the bar on Boulevard that shut down? The Papa D's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This game is our inaugural Papa D's Memorial in Lifetime Failure Award. It's Iowa State, Iowa. Don't watch this game. There are two things you have to know about this game. It will be terrible, and Iowa will win.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm not talking about it anymore.
Similar to Week 1 recap for Iowa, too. We didn't really talk about that. But
oh, my God. Okay, yeah. We do have
real quick.
to talk about the Iowa touchdown. They won 7-3 against South Dakota State. They got that with 2 safeties and a field goal. Imagine you're one of the dying, sick kids in the Iowa hospital.
They really made them watch that game.
You're wheeled out to the window, and the last thing you see before the pearly gates of heaven is that Iowa game. You see the guy who had the I root for the punter shirt?
I didn't. I didn't.
At least they own it, right?
Yeah. If you're a punter and you want an NIL deal, go to Iowa, man.
Yeah.
Real quick shout out, just because we played them last week, but West Virginia plays Kansas.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. If they could somehow... West Virginia's only favored by 13.5 points, which is honestly...
That's an achievement for Kansas.
Yeah. But maybe it might sprinkle a little bit on West Virginia there, because I think they're better than... I think they're for sure 14 points better than Kansas. But
wouldn't it be funny?
I know.
Let's move to the evening slate. There's a whole lot of garbage here. I think the only game that's really even worth watching as competitive-wise is Kentucky, Florida at 7. Florida's currently favored by 6. Once again, they're completely overrated at 12.
Yeah.
Kentucky had some struggles week 1, but they are Kentucky. They do play mean. They play nasty. And if their entire offense is still just Anthony Richardson, I think that will not go well for them.
Tough to bet against Florida in the swamp right now, though.
Yeah.
They could just go on a bit of a heater, but I think Kentucky's the better team.
Yeah. Other ones this time slot: USC, Stanford, and Arizona State, Oklahoma State are your Power 5 and Power 5.
Will be interesting to see how USC handles kind of that pro style ground and pound.
We'll learn stuff about We'll learn some stuff about the USC defense, but I don't think Stanford is
they're not that good. It'll just be something different to see.
By the way, Oklahoma State is going to wreck Arizona State. That's the only reason.
I like that line a lot too.
Here's a funny line: Michigan, Hawaii, in the Big House at 8:00. Michigan is favored by 52 points,
and I think they cover. That's the craziest part about this.
I actually agree with you. I think that. I mean, they lost by 60 to Vanderbilt. Who's to say they didn't lose to 70 by Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just going to come down to how mean does Michigan want to be in that game. Because, I think we're a couple years away from Hawaii just not existing as a football program anymore.
I mean, the thing is with them, their old coach was so bad that they had so many transfers out. They are building a new stadium, but the old coach left in such disrepair that you have to give them 2 years for even kind of poke around the dead body and see
up, yeah.
Now the nightcap. This is where the bangers are. They saved the bangers of the weekend for the 10:15 to 10:30 slots. Our G-Door Memorial for Lifetime Achievement Game of the Week award goes to number 9 Baylor going to number 21 BYU. Banger alert.
BYU's favored, right?
Yeah, by 3. I don't hate that.
You can tell that they're still figuring these lines out. I think I like BYU in this game.
I think I do. That's a if they cover, that's not a lot to cover.
Yeah.
I just think that's going to be a really good game, especially because
it's definitely going to be a good one. It deserves the 10:30 time slot, the primetime game.
We'll figure out a lot about Baylor too with their new quarterback because they played Albany week 1.
Yeah,
I think also BYU has the number 1 receiver Puku Nakua out. Mm-hmm. But even so, like we mentioned on our Group of 5 preview, I think they have 50 guys back by starting playing time. And then the other game, which I am going to try and find a way to watch, is Oregon State Fresno State. I think this is a low-key banger alert. Oregon State beat the crap out of Boise State last weekend. Fresno State, still Hainer Mania, still a lot of fun. I think if this has the chance to be our first Pac-12 After Dark Mania game of the year, and it's in Fresno.
Yeah, there'll be some weird stuff happening in this game. I think you can feel it.
One was a weird stuff game alert. Mississippi State at Arizona. Dude, Arizona beats SDS. They beat the crap out of San Diego State. Okay, to be fair, the bad vibes around San Diego State definitely affected it because of the Matarazzo stuff and how Brady Hoke was kind of complicit in covering it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't even. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on, but I just want Mississippi State to put an end to the Arizona hype train.
And I think they will. I think that they definitely will.
Yeah, they're just going to throw for 500 yards on, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our game. Pitt-Tennessee.
Rocky Top.
I feel terrible. I feel awful about this game.
Yeah. Well, do you want me to give you a stat that's going to make you feel way better about this game?
Please. I need something.
Okay. Pitt is currently 6.5-point underdogs at home.
Okay.
Last time, Pitt was 6.5-point underdogs. Anything stick out to you?
I think I know where you're going. It was the Virginia Tech game where they had the crazy quadrioles and touchdown in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Final score in that game was 47-14. Pitt. Hendon Hooker was Virginia Tech's quarterback.
Oh.
So we've done it. We've been here before.
It makes me feel a little bit better because Pitt is definitely a vibes and history based team.
I sure hope so. I really hope so. But yeah, I don't feel great.
No.
Does that mean anything though? No, because I felt great last week and I was on the edge of my seat until the last goddamn second. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll be all right. But
I remember I'm trying to remember last year. I didn't really feel anything because I didn't have any expectations going into the Tennessee game.
yeah,
And now that I do, I actually feel like I'm gonna die.
yeah. I feel like it just comes down to we know they're going to go fast paced. They're probably going to put up some points. It's going to be how much can we limit that?
How many turnovers can we create? How many stops can we get? Like we said last week, the secondary just needs to play much better against Tennessee. The tempo is going to get them. We just kind of have to accept that. Like they were playing at blazing pace against Ball State. Now it's Ball State. It's not Pittsburgh. D-line's got to get more pressure in. And on the flip side of the ball, I'm starting to feel better about Keaton and his performance. I think he actually had a pretty good performance outside the sacks he took, but got to run the ball better. And we need Rodney Hammond back. He's currently dealing with a foot injury, I believe.
Apparently left on Thursday in a boot. From what I heard, that's pretty precautionary. Like, it's not anything serious.
They say they're optimistic about him getting back,
Yeah.
but if he's not back, he just needs to play better, straight up.
Which he can.
Yeah.
He can. I think we're deep enough there that we're fine. It would just be great. It would be great to have him there. So we'll see. Even if it's at a limited capacity.
Maybe more in a pass catching capacity. She was really good.
Yeah.
Catching passes last week.
Getting in some space, making a move, making guys miss. But yeah, this is going to be. So West Virginia was cool and all. We definitely got up for that game. Like it was a very hype game, kicking off the season, primetime slate, first game of the year. But this game right now is the most important one of the year. Am I wrong?
No. I mean, I feel like we've had a lot of most important games in Pitt history in the last calendar year. And it started with Clemson last year, then it was Virginia, then it was the AC Championship, then it was West Virginia, and now this Tennessee game is ridiculously important. And not to mention just rankings, positioning, kind of prestige. But there are a ton of recruits coming to Heinz Field. Like, I think the number one wide receiver in the 24 class is visiting. Hakeem Williams is going to be there. They're having a lot of kids to this game. All that means to me is that the program, like the staff, feels good about it, which does help me out a little bit. But I don't know. I think the defense will end up getting some stops. I think they'll look better. Week 1 against a Power 5 opponent, nothing ever looks good.
The defense always takes time to catch up, I think, right?
Yeah. So
that's going to be my explanation for the week 1 stuff. We have one under our belt. We have you saw even a little bit in the fourth quarter when push came to shove and we had to make a play. We got the sack. So I think we got the WD-40 out. We got a little bit of the rust off the gears. That motor's going to get going here a little bit.
Yeah. The other thing I have to say is Pitt, I think on a yards per play basis, was miles better when they were in shotgun versus under center. Frank Signetti and Pat have got to see that, and no matter how much it hurts Narduzzi's pride, you have to run the formations that are best for your offense. And I think that they said something that Carter Johnson, the transfer tight end from JUCO, was out for that game, and it severely limited the playbook, which I believe. I think he's that blocking tight end in Signetti's offense.
Yeah, when you can cut, you can really switch up that personnel and start going H-back.
If he's your H-back, it leaves more mystique to the operation than if you're putting in a backup alignment at that position and you're going to run. But other notes, feed Gavin the ball. Bub means don't drop a long pass again.
We're not mad at you.
No, listen, I'm not mad. You got open. You had some jitters in your first week, but be better.
Gonna need them this week.
We're gonna need everything this week.
But yeah, it's definitely. Do I feel good? Not very. It's a very neutral feeling. But is it a very winnable game at the same time? Absolutely.
I think if the defense makes a couple stops and the offense takes us even like a baby step forward on just improving on a couple things, it's well within a winnable game. I mean, remember last year they went down 10-0 in Knoxville and still won.
And I literally said to myself, I was like, well, I mean, we're done.
I was
like, at least we got to like see Neyland Stadium, and we had to come down here and have fun. And then they figured it out, and yeah. So if we can do that in their turf,
yeah,
in an away game, I like it with hopefully 60,000 at Heinz again.
70. It was 70 last weekend.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to fill it up.
Yeah.
I'm underestimating a little bit.
The one thing that does give me a lot of hope and a lot of good vibes is that the one thing that we do know about this team for sure is that they always have a counterpunch.
If Pitt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week, if it told us nothing else about Pitt, is that they do not go. This is not a Pitt team that's going to lay down if they go down early. And that started last year, but this year especially, whenever West Virginia would go up, the defense would tighten up and the offense would step up and make a score. So that for sure, that just gives me a lot of hope. Just the fact that this veteran, experienced team just knows how to take a punch and then throw another one.
Yeah. Winning by 60 is definitely cool, but like being able to have that aspect of a team is like so far unmatched. Like we talked about it earlier with like the Ohio State narrative. Like cool, you blow everybody out, but what happens when you get a game like we had on Thursday with West Virginia where shit might not go your way your first half?
I mean, even Ohio State the last couple of years, that Oregon and that Michigan game, they just didn't have that punch. They didn't have that grinded out mentality, and now they have it.
Yeah.
We'll all be there again.
It's gonna be a dogfight. We're gonna be loud. We need a loud, sweet Caroline for like you said, all the recruits that are there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, let's just show out.
Let's just get it rocking.
Yeah.
I will say we have to we're issuing a fatwa on big ticket. The prices are too expensive for this game. Lower the prices, Pitt ticket office.
Did you see that a bunch of Tennessee fans were bitching that we only gave them like the certain amount of sections or whatever?
Yeah. Let me get to that.
Okay.
They're selling tickets for $70 in the upper stands. Don't do it. There's a college team. I get it's like, it's an NFL stadium, but no. Make them cheap. Get a lot of people there. I mean,
yes.
Honestly, if it comes to a certain point, and then not enough people in the game, open the gates. Pull Kansas from last year. Get everyone you can.
That?
When they were close with Oklahoma last year, they said, gates are open, everyone come in.
That's fucking awesome.
You're right, that's fucking awesome. But
now it's Kansas. But
I don't know if they can do that. So it's not their own stadium, but
usually it kind of goes against the whole lock the gates narrative.
Well, I mean, the neighbors watching, so leave it on for this.
Lock the gates, asterisk, when it's convenient.
Yeah. Yeah. At night.
Yeah. Yeah, that is shitty. So, like, you know more about the whole section thing? Because I just, read a headline, and that was it that I saw.
So what Pitt does, and this is for every visiting team.
Right.
They give the southeast corner to the opposing team's band.
Uh-huh.
Every single team does that. Every single game I've gone to at Heinz Field, they do the same thing. They put the opposing team's band in that corner. It's right on their sideline. You can hear them pretty well because they're in the lower bowl. You can hear them from across the stadium. It's a nice thing to do for the band, especially because sometimes they'll actually have the other team's band out to play at halftime. So it's much easier than them having to walk all their equipment down the fucking rotunda. And then they give an allotment to the other team to sell up on the opposing team's sideline. And then the rest, they have season tickets and they have general tickets and everything. Tickets do look definitely thin in the lower bowl. There's still a lot left on the upper bowl. But Tennessee fans or Tennessee, the university, declined the allotment because they were upset with the tickets being in the upper deck. You're not special. Oh, you're the first SEC team to come to Pittsburgh. Oh. Fuck you. You're 0-3 against us. Grow up.
It's so Tennessee too, with
Yeah.
oh, we're an SEC school coming to town. It's like, bro, you guys haven't done shit in the SEC
In our lifetime.
And literally, it hasn't been since what, 98? 98?
Yeah, you're 99, right?
98. I'm 98.
But
Maybe
barely.
Barely. November 98. So
Okay, so they did something when you were unconscious.
I don't remember, I promise. But they just had, oh my god,
They were so nice when we visited.
they were.
Too.
They were. And I think that
I think it's the online fans, right? Just like the guys who are so online.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that, because they were super hospitable last year. And I think pretty, what am I trying to say?
They were happy to have new fans down and everything like that. It was like they were happy that other people got to see Neyland.
Yeah, and they were reasonable. They weren't
Yeah, the guys I was sitting in between were one guy was he was confident, but he was it'll we'll see, and actually there was a big Tennessee hick sitting maybe 3 seats over in a row back. He's they do this shit every year, man. I knew it was gonna fucking happen.
So maybe what we could draw from that is that just fans online in general usually kind of suck.
Oh, absolutely.
The vast majority of fan bases are usually probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Tennessee's is definitely one of the worst, with the outliers that suck.
The only exception to this rule is West Virginia.
Yeah, they all suck. They all suck.
Oh my! I was. Jeez. They. I think that okay. I do have to speak about online fans for a little bit, but they're well, you only beat us by 7. Stop gloating about it. It's you talk shit for an entire year online about how you're gonna beat us, and then you lose in embarrassing fashion, on a blooper reel play. Why are you guys gloating about it? You are our rival, our number one rival, the guys we hate the most.
That's what we do.
If you had won on a pick 6 that went through our receiver's hands, you'd be doing the same shit.
I wouldn't be here. I'd be dead. I would have
I
killed myself.
I wouldn't be around to see
the
it.
500 section. But the person, you'll have to ask Ken about this whenever he decides to come back on the pod. But one of the ladies behind us was I thought you guys said you were going to win by 35. And we're just still lost.
Yes, I got to reply scoreboard on Twitter today. I felt so good.
And guess what? We have it for a year.
Yep.
Play that card every chance I get.
I think that's it. The vibes are mixed. They'll probably be better pre-snap after a little bit of canned confidence.
Yeah, first true Saturday tailgate. Mm-hmm. It'll be vibes around the stadium. I imagine
It'll be different for sure.
Yeah, because you have that. Nobody's gonna be coming from work or
yeah.
So it's gonna be good. I'm excited to see how it turns out.
I'm just ready for it to be over.
Seriously.
Because, like you said, we have our Score 70 games coming up, so I just need this one out of the way.
Yep.
And to learn what I can learn from this game. If they win, I think it's another close game.
Yeah. I don't see it being a blowout. Really, either way.
No.
It'll be probably high.
High scoring, probably.
I think so. I don't want it to be a track meet because I think we're better in the opposite of that, but we'll see.
We'll see. Hopefully the O-line keeps Keaton clean. I think that's, if I had to pick one key to the game, it's keeping Keaton clean and getting Hendon Hooker dirty.
We're gonna go KKK for this game. Keep Keaton clean. Tennessee, you know what I'm talking about.
hey, that's our stuff. Oh, shit.
Disavow.
Did you see the guy who made the rap for Tennessee?
Yes, I did.
Can't
believe that's a real person. That's the average person in Knoxville, Tennessee.
I could not believe the things he had on his wall. Just antique clocks. I'm where's he recording this from? Lil Bowser is in his grandmother's house.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That's like, he's like the pinnacle of, I think, a Tennessee fan. If you're not a student,
He's a townie.
Yeah. He's like, if you go to Tennessee and you move somewhere else, you're a Tennessee fan.
That is different than growing up, say, 30 minutes outside of Knoxville.
Yeah, that video was very funny.
We're sitting down the river in a handbasket.
It was all gibberish. It was Southern gibberish. But
yeah. Well, this has been Simple Fi Pod. We are going up the river in the handbasket, all the way up the Mon to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I've been your host, Zach Kaminsky. I've been joined by my co-host, Mason. Like we said, Kent is being held hostage by the Vol Navy. If you have any idea on his whereabouts, we will not be paying his ransom. We will be launching an amphibious assault on the Vol Navy.
We don't negotiate with volunteers.
God damn.
Anti-philanthropy podcast here.
Yeah, we're drafting our listeners to our assault in the Vol Navy. There will be heavy casualties. We will miss you, but we do have to get Kent back at least for one more episode.
Yes.
We can't have him stuck in Knoxville for the rest of the year. So with that, make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at SimpleFiPod. If you have any questions you want to be answered on the show, feel free to DM the pod. The DMs are open. You can follow me at I'm Real Angry. You can follow Mason at Clayson_Ming. Make sure to rate the podcast 5 stars, leave a review, leave it a like, and with that, we'll see you on Sunday.
Hail to Pitt.